Hello, I'm Sunny. I am an actor on General Hospital, and many people really love both me and our General Hospital drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved General Hospital. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The stage is set for an unforgettable Tuesday in Port Charles, where old wounds refuse to stay buried, dangerous secrets inch closer to the light, and every conversation seems destined to change someone's future forever. As emotions run high and loyalties are tested from every direction, the people of General Hospital find themselves standing at crossroads where one decision could alter countless lives. The calm that briefly settled over the city quickly begins to unravel, replaced by an atmosphere thick with uncertainty, suspicion, and anticipation. Every familiar face carries the weight of unfinished business, while every quiet moment threatens to explode into chaos without warning. From heartbreaking family reunions to bitter confrontations, from hidden discoveries to ominous threats, Tuesday's episode promises to deliver one emotional twist after another in a story that refuses to slow down. The emotional heart of the day begins with Jason Morgan, whose long-awaited return has already sent shockwaves throughout Port Charles after his explosive appearance during Monday's episode. Standing inside the peaceful surroundings of the Quartermain boathouse, Jason prepares to face one of the moments he has undoubtedly imagined countless times while he was gone. Looking toward the person believed to be Danny Morgan, he quietly delivers words that carry far more meaning than they first appear, assuring him that he's finally home for good. Yet beneath those reassuring words lies a lifetime of pain, sacrifice, and unanswered questions that cannot simply disappear because he has returned. Anyone who sees Jason can immediately recognize that something profound has changed inside him. His thinner frame, the weight he has lost, and the hardened expression on his face all tell a story long before he speaks a single word. The time he spent in WSB custody clearly left scars that run far deeper than anything visible on the surface, and although he is finally back where he belongs, it is painfully obvious that he has not returned as the exact same man who disappeared. As Jason begins explaining what happened during his time away, an emotional dilemma quietly hangs over every word he chooses. Will he reveal the full truth about everything he endured while trapped in WSB custody, exposing every terrifying detail of the nightmare he survived? Or will he carefully soften the story to protect Danny from horrors no child should ever have to imagine? It is the impossible choice every loving parent faces when trying to shield someone they care about from unbearable reality. Jason has always carried the burden of protecting those closest to him, often sacrificing his own peace so others could feel safe. Even now, after surviving experiences that have clearly transformed him forever, his first instinct may still be to protect Danny's innocence rather than burden him with memories too painful to share. That quiet conversation inside the boathouse carries enormous emotional weight because it isn't simply about recounting the past. It is about rebuilding trust, restoring a fractured family, and proving that despite everything life has thrown at him, Jason Morgan has finally found his way home once again. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Port Charles, another mystery quietly begins unfolding as Kai Taylor unexpectedly stumbles upon information that could send shockwaves through several lives. What initially appears to be an ordinary day quickly takes an unexpected turn when Kai uncovers something he clearly was never meant to find. Considering his position working for the Congresswoman, the discovery immediately raises questions about Willow Kane, whose life has become increasingly tangled in layers of deception and carefully guarded secrets. Willow has been carrying emotional burdens that continue growing heavier with every passing day, many of them tied directly to her complicated marriage with Drew Kane. The walls surrounding those secrets may finally be beginning to crack, and Kai's unexpected discovery could become the spark that ignites an even larger chain reaction. Sometimes the most dangerous truths are uncovered completely by accident, and in Port Charles, accidents rarely remain harmless for very long. There is another possibility surrounding Kai's discovery that feels equally compelling, especially as Drew's condition begins showing signs of dramatic improvement. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Drew will slowly begin regaining mobility during the week, signaling a major turning point in his recovery after enduring such devastating physical limitations. If Kai happens to notice Drew's fingers twitching or catches the slightest movement in his legs or hands, he could become one of the first people to realize that something extraordinary is happening. That seemingly small observation could instantly change everything, raising questions about who should know the truth and whether someone has been hiding Drew's progress from the people who love him. Every tiny movement would represent hope returning after unimaginable despair, but hope often comes wrapped inside new complications. As Drew inches closer to reclaiming control over his own body, the carefully balanced relationships surrounding him threaten to shift in unpredictable ways, placing everyone connected to him in an increasingly fragile position. At the center of that emotional storm stands Willow herself, whose own worries continue mounting as she finds herself confiding in Jack Brennan about a problem that simply cannot wait any longer. The urgency in her voice suggests that whatever crisis she is facing has reached a breaking point. It is difficult to ignore the possibility that her concerns revolve around Drew and the remarkable progress his body may be making after receiving his final dose of the paralytic several days earlier. If Drew is truly beginning to recover faster than expected, the consequences could ripple across every secret that has been carefully hidden until now. Willow knows better than anyone how quickly hope can become fear when too many unanswered questions remain. As she turns to Brennan, she appears desperate for guidance or perhaps even protection, understanding that every new development brings both incredible promise and terrifying uncertainty. The emotional pressure surrounding Willow continues building, and it feels as though she is standing only moments away from watching her carefully controlled world begin slipping beyond her grasp. While some relationships struggle to heal, others are pushed closer to complete collapse as Jordan Ashford and the very pregnant Portia Robinson collide in a confrontation filled with anger, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Jordan has clearly reached the end of her patience, bluntly accusing Portia of dragging this entire situation out far longer than necessary. The conflict centers on the assault charges filed against Curtis Ashford after he attacked and injured Portia's surgeon boyfriend, Isaiah Gannon, creating a bitter legal battle that has divided loyalties and reopened painful emotional wounds. Neither woman appears willing to back down, and every sentence exchanged only intensifies the already explosive atmosphere between them. Years of complicated history, resentment, and conflicting priorities pour into the confrontation, making it impossible for either side to find common ground. What begins as a heated disagreement soon feels dangerously close to becoming something much more damaging, especially considering Portia's fragile condition. The timing of this confrontation could not be more dangerous because Portia's pregnancy has already reached an incredibly delicate stage. General Hospital spoilers reveal that she is expected to begin experiencing contractions sometime this week, raising the frightening possibility that the overwhelming stress from Jordan's confrontation could trigger labor at the absolute worst possible moment. Every raised voice, every emotional accusation, and every painful reminder of recent events places additional strain on both mother and baby. Instead of preparing for one of the happiest days of her life, Portia finds herself trapped inside yet another emotionally draining battle that threatens to overshadow everything else. The tension becomes almost unbearable as viewers are left wondering whether this argument will become the very event that sends Portia rushing toward delivery sooner than anyone expected. What should have been a joyful milestone now hangs beneath a cloud of anxiety, proving once again that in Port Charles, even life's happiest moments rarely arrive without heartbreak waiting close behind. Inside General Hospital itself, another emotional battle quietly begins taking shape as Elizabeth Liz Baldwin reaches a point where compromise is no longer an option. Determined to stand firm, Liz draws a clear line in the sand, signaling that she has finally decided exactly where she stands. Whether the conflict stems from mounting tensions at the hospital or something far more personal remains uncertain, but her resolve leaves little room for negotiation. At the nurses' station, Tracy Quartermain makes her presence impossible to ignore, confidently reminding someone that they would do well to be nice to her. The sharp remark immediately raises suspicions that Liz may once again find herself in Tracy's crosshairs after refusing to bend during the hospital board's recent vote involving Sonny Corinthos. Liz earned respect by standing her ground while becoming the 16th member voted onto the hospital board, despite Tracy's determined resistance, and now the consequences of that bold decision may finally be arriving. The tension between Tracy and Liz represents far more than a simple disagreement between two strong personalities. It reflects a larger struggle over power, influence, and the future direction of General Hospital itself. Tracy has never been known for quietly accepting defeat, and she rarely forgets when someone publicly challenges her authority. Liz, on the other hand, has built her life around compassion, integrity, and doing what she believes is morally right, even when those choices create powerful enemies. Watching these two formidable women stand their ground background promises to create another emotionally charged chapter in Port Charles, where respect must often be earned through conflict rather than cooperation. Neither woman is likely to surrender easily, ensuring that whatever confrontation unfolds between them will leave lasting consequences long after the conversation ends. Elsewhere, Britt Westbourne steps back into the spotlight with the same fearless confidence and razor-sharp attitude that have always made her impossible to ignore. Wasting no time asserting herself, Britt delivers a chilling warning to someone whose identity remains unknown, confidently declaring that they are mistaken because she intends to make the situation their problem. Her words carry unmistakable intensity, suggesting that whoever stands opposite her has severely underestimated both her intelligence and her determination. Summer spoilers hint that the target of her frustration could very well be newcomer Tristan Roberts, one of Port Charles's newest doctors. Since Tristan only recently arrived during Monday's episode, fate appears ready to throw the two talented physicians together almost immediately. Rather than building a friendly professional relationship, however, it seems their very first interactions will ignite sparks of conflict, setting the stage for a fierce rivalry that could become one of the hospital's most explosive storylines in the weeks ahead. As if family struggles, hospital rivalries, and hidden discoveries were not enough, another dangerous conflict begins taking shape through the ever-complicated Cassadine family. Valentin Cassadine grows increasingly suspicious, sensing that someone has begun moving against him once again. During a tense conversation with Dante Falconeri, Valentin confidently warns that a certain woman has picked a fight she is ultimately going to lose. Everything points toward Lulu Spencer being the woman he is referring to, as she continues fighting to keep Charlotte Cassadine away from her father now that Valentin has regained his freedom. For Lulu, the battle is about protecting her daughter and preserving the future she believes Charlotte deserves. For Valentin, however, it is about reclaiming the bond he refuses to surrender, convinced that no one should stand between a father and his child. Every decision made by both parents only deepens the emotional divide surrounding Charlotte, leaving the young girl caught between two people who each believe they are acting out of love. Yet perhaps the greatest tragedy lies in the emotional reality that continues unfolding beneath the surface of this custody battle. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Charlotte remains deeply devoted to her father, a true daddy's girl whose loyalty toward Valentin runs stronger than ever. If Lulu continues pushing as aggressively as she has, the heartbreaking irony may be that every attempt to protect her daughter only drives Charlotte further into Valentin's embrace. Love, fear, and desperation become hopelessly intertwined as both parents fight for what they believe is right, never fully realizing the emotional cost their conflict continues placing upon the child caught in the middle. As Tuesday's unforgettable episode reaches its emotional peak, Port Charles stands balanced on the edge of profound change. Families struggle to reconnect after unimaginable separation, secrets inch closer to exposure, rivalries ignite without warning, and dangerous battles over love, loyalty, and trust continue reshaping countless lives. By the time the final moments arrive, one thing will be unmistakably clear: nothing in Port Charles will remain quite the same once this emotionally charged day finally comes to an end.